So how to make a D chord, which is the bread and butter of all beginning aspiring guitarists. I talked about how to hold the strings down in chords and on this fretboard, how to hold them down, whether it be chords or whether it be individual notes. They have to press straight into the fretboard, and you have to press firmly into the fretboard so that you have a nice clear sounding note. I will point out that nice firm sounding note later on when you can play. Sometimes you want that a little muffled, and we'll get to that in subsequent lessons. But right now, you want that sound. You want a nice clear sound for a D chord. A D chord is generally the first chord that everyone learns. And let's talk about how to make it. I'm going to take my middle finger, put it on string 1. String 1 is the skinny string. The heaviest string is string 6, and everything falls sequentially in between string 1 and string 6. So I go to string 1, fret 2, fret 1, fret 2. So I'm going to put my middle finger on string 1, fret 2, put my ring finger on string 2, fret 3, and put my index finger on string 3, fret 2. And when I make that properly, with all of those fingers coming in as straight into the fretboard, as perpendicular to the fretboard, as my body geometry allows, I come out with a chord that sounds like this. And what do? You make that chord and you go string by string. If it sounds like this, you can self-analyze that and say, okay, it's two things. I'm not pressing hard enough, so okay, this one's dead, press harder, there it is. And this one is dead, and I'm pressing hard, it's still not right. Press a little harder, and there it is. So now you have string 1 and string 2 sounding the way they should, and string 3 is now sounding right. I put them together, and now I've got the chord right. You want to get used to that feel, because so much of this is by feel. I'm not giving you how many foot-pounds of pressure to apply. You have to come to a place, this being an art and a science, where it feels comfortable and it's effective, and you're doing the right thing by making certain little adjustments that we all make, so that you make this thing work. And that's what your ultimate is, to make it sound like that. And you have to do some, fidgeting and things like that to get the feel on this guitar, because it will feel very strange to you in the beginning. And work toward getting it to sound like that by pressing in firmly, as I said, and by coming in as perpendicular to the fretboard as you can, as your body geometry allows with these two sets of knuckles. And now if I go to an A7th chord, I will essentially, you take this ring finger off the fretboard and you move up one set of strings with the other two in the very same pattern that they were in. You come up with an A7th chord, and that is my ring finger on string 2, fret 2, and my index finger on string 4, fret 2. And that should look very much like a D7th chord. And that's more than just a little notation, because what you always want to look for, virtually in anything in life, is patterns. You look for patterns. And you look for, this should strike you as a pattern, that this chord looks exactly like this chord, except I don't have my ring finger down. So why is that important? Because I could make this chord with any sets of fingers that I want, but it wouldn't make sense for speed and ease to make that chord, the D chord, like this, and then you come up to an A7th made with my ring and pinky. That's just not a logical move. Logically, you would say, well, the most expedient and the quickest way and the surest way is just to take advantage that I have this pattern already and move it up here. So you want to just make both those chords nice and firmly, and just practice going back and forth like this until you drive everybody out of the room. Okay? But just do it, except the dog. So just keep doing that for practice, and make sure that each time it sounds nice and firm and crisp and clean. And once you do that a few hundred times, you'll say you've accomplished something. So D chord, A seventh chord, just as I described. Good luck, have fun working with it, and I'll see you at the next video.